Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming this video and to finally be able to share with you my news that I've been keeping for 7 months. 7 months? Yeah, 7 months. Actually longer, because it was actually this time last year that I decided that I wanted to move back. So basically I had my US embassy interview today and I have been granted a 3-year visa to work in America, and I'm so excited. I plan to move to New York in the next couple of weeks. I've kind of been putting the wheels in motion slowly, but obviously I had to wait for approval. So I have been kind of preparing myself and getting things ready, and it's the worst kept secret in that, like, all my friends know, a lot of people I work with know. If you've met me in the last while, I've probably said something. So I'm just so excited to be able to tell everyone and to be able to really start planning. I just booked flights. I got very excited. Yeah, so it's really exciting. It's going to be a huge change, but I just feel like I really need the change. I lived in New York before. I don't know if many of you know that. I lived there 5 years ago. I moved and actually came up with my time hop today that I was getting ready to move there this time 5 years ago, which is really weird. And I moved back then a year later because I was on a graduate program, and my first year was in New York, my second year was in Dublin, so I had to come back. But I suppose my relationship with New York, no, my love for New York started when I was a teenager. 10 years ago, when I was 16, I spent my first summer out there. It was summer of 5th year in school, and I was going back home to face into like leaving cert. So I spent the whole summer out there, and I just like living with my family, and I just loved it. I really just loved the way of life. I loved being out there, being kind of independent. I loved it. So my plan was to get through 6th year and then to go back out there for college. I had been like looking it up and everything, but obviously that didn't happen. It made more sense to go to college in Ireland, and I had my friends and everything in Ireland, so I was excited to go to college in Ireland. And then I was like, I'll go out there for the summers. So I spent my first year college summer living with my family in Connecticut, which is just outside New York. And again, I loved it. I was working out there. I was on a J1 visa. I worked in a country club. I worked in a shop. I worked in Hollister, which was just really fun, like, and just really getting to experience kind of that way, a lot like the American way of life, I suppose. And then I did another J1 after my 3rd year of college, which for me was my final year of my undergrad. And that summer I went out with all my friends from college and we had a ball. We lived in New York. I was interning. I was working in a restaurant, making loads of money in tips, and we were just having so much fun. And then after that I went home and I went straight back into a master's in marketing. And after I finished my master's, I knew I really wanted to go back to New York. It's one of those places that I love. It just has my heart. Part of my heart is there, always has been, and I kind of knew I wanted to live there. So that was my plan after my master's, and it did take me a little while to find a job because it's not easy to get a job that's going to set you up in New York. So I went out there on the IBEC graduate program, and I was with Tourism Ireland, and I really didn't want to go anywhere else. It was either there or New York or nowhere. And same this time. I had no backup plan if I didn't get my visa. So I went out there and had literally the best year. The best year. I didn't want to leave. I really didn't want to leave. I was just having so much fun. It suited me so much. I started my blog out there. I was loving my job. I loved the city. I loved the way everything was there. I loved people's attitude, the opportunities, the food, the activities, the travel, everything. And I was so sad to leave. It really took me a long time to settle back in when I came back. Actually, not that long. It took me like 3 months. But I had to come back because my second year was in Dublin. My second year of my graduate program was in Dublin. I had a boyfriend at home. We had done long distance the whole year, so that wasn't easy. I had to come home. And then my plan was to come home, finish out the year with Tourism Ireland, and then go back. And of course, came home, got settled, got distracted, got busy with my blog, and then I suddenly didn't really want to leave straight away anymore. And that's literally just what's happened the last couple of years. I've been really busy and I've been enjoying being home, and I had like a new lease of life for Dublin, a new love for Dublin, because it was my first time living in the city and working, and not being a student, and everything was just different. So I really did love it. I do love Dublin, but I wasn't finished with New York at all when I left. So it was around this time last year I was really just like, I need a change, not happy. And I said at the time, okay, I really want to move to New York. I think now is when I'm supposed to go back, because it never left my head. I said it to my roommates when I moved in here. I said when we got Cooper, that I wasn't done and I probably was going to go back at some stage. So at that stage I started looking into visas and stuff. But around this time last year I had obviously some personal things that happened that kind of put everything on hold for me, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go anymore. And then what I said I'd do is I said I'd go to New York for a week in January and see if I want to move back, see how I feel about living there again, see how I like the vibe, see how it would be, meet agencies, see how it would be work-wise before spending all this money on a visa and making this big leap. So I did that, and of course I decided that I wanted to move there. So that's when I started this visa process. It was the end of January. I remember being in LA, because I went to LA after New York, and being on the phone to the lawyer at the end of January, and now it is the end of August and it's only coming through now. It's taken longer, a lot longer than I thought, and it honestly has been the longest, most painful process ever. I literally just feel like for a long time I just felt like I was in limbo, and I was just waiting, and couldn't make any plans for a while, didn't have any idea of dates kept getting pushed back. But it's all worth it, and now it's all finally happening. So I'm really excited. So okay, I'll just tell you a little bit about my plan for moving and what I'm planning to do. So I have an agency who are sponsoring me. I had a lawyer who was doing all the visa work. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But I have an agency who are sponsoring me, and obviously I'm going to keep my Irish work, and I'm probably going to be over and back a lot to start off with, so it's not like a big goodbye or anything. But it's just great that I'm going to be able to work there and live there, and I probably will be over and back a lot because I do want to keep my Irish work up, and I want to keep in touch with everyone at home. So yeah, that's kind of work-wise what I'm going to be doing. It's definitely a risk, you know. I don't know how much money I'm making over there. Hopefully I'm making enough to live. I have savings, and I've been planning for this for more than a year, so I am ready in that sense. But yeah, I just don't know, like rent is a lot more expensive over there, like a lot more expensive. I've been looking at apartments. When I was there in June, I viewed 3 apartments. I actually vlogged it, so I'm going to put up that vlog maybe in a couple of days. But yeah, and I'll kind of update you with that as well. I still don't know where I'm going to be living, but I know I'm going to be moving out there in a couple of weeks. Luckily I have my family in Connecticut, which is only 45 minutes outside the city, so if I haven't found somewhere I will be commuting in and out, which I don't really want to do that, because I'd love to just get set up somewhere and like have somewhere to ship all my stuff and that kind of thing. But I'd rather have a few weeks of coming and going rather than settling somewhere that's not right. So that's what I plan to do. I'm trying to think, what else is there? Oh, Cooper, oh my god, of course. So this time last year when I decided, like, that obviously was a huge thing, a huge factor in I don't think I can move, because we got Cooper. Like, I share Cooper with my roommate, and I'm obsessed with Cooper. Everybody knows that. I love him to bits. But we have figured it out. We've been talking about it for like a year now, and we knew that when we got him, we knew it wasn't a case that I was going to live in this house forever. I don't own this house, you know, my roommate owns it. So my roommate who I share Cooper with owns this house. So it wasn't a case that I was going to live here forever. Like, we have our own lives. Our lives were always going to move on at some stage. So we have a good relationship, and we have talked about it and figured out something that's going to work for us. So our plan right now is to do 6 months with Cooper in Ireland and 6 months with him in New York. I have looked into all the paperwork. He doesn't have to go into quarantine. He gets shots, like vaccines, and yeah, that's it. You put him on a flight and that's it. It's a relatively short flight. He'd nearly be in the car as long going from Dublin to Limerick sometimes if we're in traffic. But most apartments in New York are dog friendly, and I'm only looking at dog friendly apartments. So he's going to be living in New York, hopefully. I hope to bring him over at Christmas if I'm settled by then. And I also want a little bit of time to kind of see how it would be, like see what my routine is going to be like, because I don't want to bring Cooper over unless it's going to be an environment that he's going to be happy in, and it's going to be good for him, and that, you know, he's going to be getting everything that he needs. Even though I really obviously would like him there, I just have to make sure of that before I bring him out. But if that is the case, he will stay here full time, or else my parents will take him because they absolutely love him. And as I said, I'll be over and back a lot as well. But I am like, that was one thing I was a little bit nervous about. Like, I'm like, oh my god, everyone's gonna hate me and slate me, and it's already hard enough for me having to leave him. But it's life, do you know, like I have to do this for me. And it's funny, this time last year when I was really putting plans in motion about moving, I was really nervous and I was really unsure. Even though I knew that I wanted to go, I was nervous and I was sick with worry about certain things. And now I'm just so excited, and I feel like this long period of waiting and overthinking and everything and having things delayed has just, I feel like this happened to remind me when I'm out there and I'm having a hard day that I really want this. So I know I do, and I really just know, like, I don't know things in my gut often, but I know this for sure. I know it's definitely the right move. Whether it works out or it doesn't, I don't think I'm going to regret it. And I'm just really excited for a new adventure. I don't know what kind of lies ahead of me, which is so exciting. It's also, like, it definitely is scary. I feel like I've been so focused on moving that I haven't really had time to think about my friends and my family and my, obviously, Cooper and my change, how everything's going to change. Like, I have the best friends in the world in Ireland, I really do. And I don't think I'm going to find friends like them over there, but they'll always be here. And like, as I always say to everyone now, flights to New York have gotten so like reasonable. You can get them for literally like 200, 300, 400 euro return. So I feel like I'm gonna see them. I've already booked flights. I'm already gonna be home in October, like, so this is a big elaborate dramatic thing because I'm not gonna be gone for good, like, at all. But it is scary, obviously, moving country and by myself and not knowing, you know, financially, not knowing a lot, not knowing where I'm gonna live. But at the same time, you only live once. You literally do, like, so you have to do it if you want. If you have something on your mind, you know me, I'm like good for my quotes, like save them all down, and if you can't stop thinking about it, it's worth taking the risk. That's kind of definitely one that there's a million quotes that apply to me moving, but I just really feel like it's the right thing. So yeah, just a few little bits about the visa, because I know people are probably going to ask. I'm going on the O1 visa. It's for 3 years. I got a US based lawyer and she filed a petition for me. There was a lot of paperwork. I had to get like 12 reference letters from people in the industry, so brands I've worked with, like other social media influencers in Ireland and in America, companies, and was there a company in America? My accountant, yeah, just loads, like 12, so a lot. And I had to get all of the press clippings I've ever been in, anything I've ever been mentioned in online, or anything like worthy of kind of taking note of, anything online or anything in magazines, newspapers, which is actually really hard, like, because I don't collect that stuff, like, unless it was something big, you know. So I had to get all that stuff together. I had to write out a list of every job I've ever done. I had to write out a list of all the upcoming work that I have planned, an itinerary of my work for the next 3 years. What else? Fees. It cost me in total $6,000-ish. Like lawyer fees, visa fees, processing fees. I paid for the express processing, which once you file it means you hear back in 2 weeks. So I literally only filed mine at the end of July, which is mad. Like, it just takes so long to get everything together. And then once you have everything together, you need a sponsor, you need signatures, you need a letter from your sponsor agency. So there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of back and forth. So I'm really glad it's all over. I'm really glad that part's over. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, I think that's kind of everything to do with the visa. I'm not looking forward if I have to ever apply for this again, because it's not easy. But then you have a list of things you bring to the embassy with you and they approve it there and then, usually. But they can hang on to your stuff for a few days as well. So yeah, I should be getting my passport back next week. and moving in a couple of weeks. So I have been kind of clearing things out gradually from my room because I kind of knew I was going. And it's been on my mind because I obviously get sent a lot of stuff and I have a lot of stuff. So I just wanted to kind of keep on top of it. I have boxes arriving on Saturday, so I'm going to start packing up. I have a box already packed over here. So yeah, it's all go now. Everything's kind of starting to happen. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited, and I do think this is going to be a good move. So yeah, hopefully people understand my move, and I hope you're excited to come along on the journey with me. I'm really excited to bring everybody on the journey with me and move, and just so many new experiences are coming. So yeah, I'm really excited to share everything, and that's it. Yeah, I'll be back in a few days with, I'll put up the video of me viewing apartments in New York so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. And yeah, I'm gonna go celebrate. My roommate's gonna be home soon, so we're gonna have some champagne. Yeah, okay, bye guys. Also, can I just say, I made it the whole way through this video without acknowledging that I'm wearing a jumper that says New York City. Can you tell I'm excited?